evening, race fans, and welcome. It's the NORA Truck Series, season number 5, race 6 of 26, from the famed Bristol Motor Speedway. This time, it's the dirt version. A half-mile track like no other. They've covered it in dirt, and we're getting dirty, and we're loving it here on VirtualRacing.Network. I'm Trevor Greenfield, and tonight, I'm joined in the booth by none other than Christian Snyder. Christian, tonight we've got an excellent series of races planned, and I hope the fans are ready for some awesome dirt flying action.
Yeah, indeed we do. These guys put on a great show, especially on dirt. This is the, I believe, 4th time that these guys have ran dirt with the Truck Series. Can't wait to see what they can put out tonight. And it's always going to be a good show with them. So.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Bristol tonight and what we can expect out there on the track?
Well, like you said, it's a half mile unlike no other. They put dirt on this. The temps are going to be great tonight, 64 degrees. A little bit chilly, but I don't think it's jacket weather out there in the stands. But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic show. And it's actually kind of windy out there, 11 miles per hour. So we might see some dust blowing.
Those fans better be looking forward to some dust in their face. Doesn't matter whether you're a virtual fan or not, but it's so great to have everybody with us here tonight. I love short track racing. I love dirt racing, and here's the best of both worlds at the famed Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, 3 heats tonight. They're going to be 15 laps apiece. What kind of strategy would you bring into a race like this if you were lining up for one of these heats?
You got to go for it. I mean, if you wreck during the heats, your truck's going to be repaired for the race. So you just gotta try to win it to start as high up as you can. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but if Josh is following real life, passing points are going to be everything. So the more cars you pass, the better your position will be. As we can see, we're going into heat 1 already. We're going right into the race here.
Well, this is exciting. I hope everybody out there has their favorite beverage in hand, comfortable place on the couch. We are jumping right into it. No qualifying. Instead, let's get some heat racing action underway. Starting on pole position for this first heat will be David Chandler out of Florida. The next position on the outside be Joey States for Nightmare Motorsports. Second row, Jason Conover. Look for him, one of the dirt specialists in real life, Ryan Powell Motorsports, and Brad Fulham for Full Send Motorsports. On the third row will be John Cottle for Hollinger Racing, and on the outside, Cody Reeder for KPR Motorsports. And the final starter for tonight for that Flatline Stable proud group that they are doing so well, that'll be Matthew George in that 4th row by himself. This is fun. I can't wait to do this. It's the first time we've done this here on VirtualRacing.Network, a chance to show these heats, but a different kind of format. And again, only 7 drivers starting in this first heat. So like you said, you got to go for it. 15 laps will be done in a blink of an eye, and you don't have time to really think. You just got to push that send button and go for it, Christian.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, these guys didn't qualify. This is completely random draw, so you're going to see some guys toward the back of these 7 trucks that are a little bit faster than the front 2. And I'm going to watch for the 21 of Jason Conover to take this thing 3 wide in turn 1.
He will not hesitate a moment. Watch for that dirt specialist to come forward. Here we go. We are green here at Bristol Dirt for the very first heat. And we've already got some contact. Looks like Jason Conover getting stacked up as Joey States manages to hold that front running position out there in front. No problem for him. Looking back, it's David Chandler holding on to second. Brad Fulham now getting side by side with Jason Conover. Here comes Conover in that 21 machine.
And Joey Stats pulling away right now after that contact between Jason Conover and the 13 earlier. I mean, he is gapping them to about a straightaway already. We already see a lot of trucks getting into the wall, and I was told before the race that using the wall too much to your advantage is going to get you penalized tonight.
Well, indeed, that could be not what you want to do here tonight, but we'll look to see whether or not these drivers managed to keep it clean here. It looks like States, Conover, Reeder, Chandler, George. Now George making a pass on Chandler just a little bit further back. There's Caudle for Hollinger Racing just behind. And we look to see whether or not they can keep up there in the front. From what I understand, and I'm not 100% clear on this, so it says all will advance. So I guess not just one, or not just 6 drivers advancing, but all will advance here tonight. And that's good news for everybody, so you don't have to race that hard, but it will set your qualifying position. Jason Conover holding on to second, Cody Reeder there in third. Matthew George in 4th place now, as this is quite a gaggle here in the middle of this pack. We've got Chandler, George, and Reeder. And that 13 of Chandler now getting up into the wall. Unfortunately, you see some big scrapes there on the wall. And I can hear some more banging up in front. I think that's Cody Reeder into the wall. So these... Christian, I don't think anybody's keeping these trucks clean. I mean, good thing that they're going to reset for the next race, because they are already taking some beating and banging.
Yeah, there's not going to be a truck clean for obvious reasons at start, but there's going to be damage on every single truck tonight. I just don't think the wall is doing much good for these drivers, and I think they're going to find it quite a bit.
Exactly what I'm saying, because hey, you get out there, you get dirty, but you run up there, you can run close to the wall. I mean, sure, rub some paint off, do whatever you got to do to, I guess, win one of these things, or get up there in the front so you can set yourself up. You know, track position might be pretty important when we get into the feature. It is 150 laps long, but again, this is such a short track that, you know, 150 laps go by like that. So you probably, especially in the feature, you won't want to get caught in the mid-pack or the back if there's damage, if there's a big incident. You know, Christian, I think there will be something to be said if you can start at the front of the feature. That will be quite an advantage tonight.
Yeah, once you get about 5 trucks back, but like 6 to about, I think there's 28 trucks tonight, so 6 through 28 is going to be just a lot of trucks. But I think the top 5 are going to be single file and be able to pull away. But I've been watching here, I think Jason Conover slowly reeling in that 43 of stats.
Well, let's take a look at that. You can see that gap is just slowly coming down there on the right side of the screen. Ever so much, but it does look like Joey is hanging on to it for Nightmare Motorsports. Again, it's not going to be a win for the feature, so it's not going to be an overall win, but to win one of the heats, there's still a lot of prestige that comes with that. You'd love to see your name there in the win column at the end of the night. There comes Conover with
slider.
a late move.
He tried for a slider. It's not going to stick, though.
And you're absolutely right, it does not stick. 21 of Conover tries an old dirt maneuver, a late send and a slide job there, but not able to pull it off.
Yeah, he was gaining a lot of ground using the cushion up on top, and that's going to be a phrase that I'm probably going to use a lot tonight, because the cushion's going to be ever-changing throughout the night. But if you get that right rear in the cushion, it helps give you a little bit more grip, and you can shoot off the corner with a lot of momentum. And Jason's been using that to his advantage to now catch up to the 43, but now he's kind of switched the bottom lane to try to run down the 43.
Well, Jason Conover certainly knows what he's doing out there, and he's trying to take it to Joey States there for that top position here tonight. Looking a little bit further back, though, I think Brad Fulham is at the back of this pack. It's not worked out quite as well for Brad, but that white flag is in the air, and Joey States gonna take victory here tonight for the very first heat race. Second place to Jason Conover, and third to Cody Reeder. That is your top 3 for the first heat race. And what a banger that one was early on. A few drivers making contact, and that was something else, to be quite honest. Let's take a look at those final results, as nobody left that first heat race with their truck clean at all. Scrapes on all sides. Joey taking The top spot, Jason Conover in second, Cody Reeder in third, Matthew George taking fourth, John Cottle in fifth, David Chandler in sixth, and last was Brad Fulham. So now it's time to get ready for our second heat. Just like that, Christian, they got him out there on the track. Go ahead and take a look at the starting grid for the second heat. Go ahead and run through it for us if you would.
Yeah, starting on pole for this heat, we got Martin Plute, second Dylan Walterman, third Nick Geilis, fourth Jacob Gladulich, fifth, it's a little, I think that's Sean Briscoe, yeah, and then Timothy Harper sixth with Andrew Staub rounding out the field in seventh here. Again, 7 trucks in this one, and you briefly mentioned toward the last of that one that Brad Fulham finished seventh in that first heat there. He told me before the race, he said, dirt is for farmers. I do not like dirt racing. So that's probably why he finished seventh.
Well, some unfortunate info. I don't believe that Andrew Staub will make this start. And also of note, Geilis ahead of the race. Now, he says that if he wins tonight, he didn't specify the feature, but he did say that if he wins, he will buy a sword. Now, I don't know. We're going to ask for picks if it happens for sure. But, it just gives you another reason to root for that number 24 PPG paint truck that is out there. But Martin Plute, he's had some good luck here in the trucks on broadcast the last few weeks. He's looked excellent out there. Dirt, a whole different story, though. Racing for Blake Timmons Racing. And Dylan Walterman, we haven't seen him out here. I wonder if he's going to have something to say about this one before it's all done. But it's if you're a part-timer, how is that to just show up and be cast right into the P-pick pole position?
Well, Martin, he is a part-timer, but he's been here for a long time, so he knows what he's doing. But we're already green here.
We are
and
green.
It looks like a great jump from the outside by the one car. Maybe laid back a little bit, and he's going to probably take the lead here in turn one.
Well, they are side by side as they come off the corner, and they jump down, and it looks like the one of Dylan Walterman does take that lead position. So he has gained that spot legit on Martin Plute. So, I mean, what can be said? He may be a part-timer, but Dylan able to get right up there and take that spot. Nick Geilis, driver who wants to win and buy himself a sword, he's hanging on to third, which is right where he qualified. Sean Briscoe, Timothy Harper gaining a spot. Jacob Gladulich having a lot of trouble on that opening lap, dropping 2 spots. Again, also Andrew Staub not able to make it to the start. So Walterman now already up like 7/10 of a second on Plute, and really this is starting to open up some territory where it may be a little difficult to overcome this in the short distance that these drivers have here in this heat race.
And if you take a look at the lanes that they're using, Martin Plute is he is putting his right rear almost right on the wall, so he is using every bit of the cushion that he can to try to catch the one of Dylan Walterman. And so far, it looks like it's been working. The past 2 laps, he gained a couple tenths.
Well, they're both kind of running a little bit higher line, but definitely Plute running a little bit higher than Walterman, utilizing a little bit of that cushion. Wow, he is really out there in that cushion. You got to be careful when you're out there in the cushion. I mean, could you lose traction? Is there a danger of that?
There is, and from watching real life Bristol, from what Christopher Bell said, he said you got to just stay in the throttle and hope that the right front doesn't hit the wall. If the right rear hits the wall a couple times, it's fine. But if you're not holding the throttle enough, that right front's going to grab the wall and you're stuck up there.
Wow, Plute really high up there to the wall, but look who is coming on strong. Nick Geilis right now charging strong towards Martin Plute with just 9 laps remaining here.
Yeah, both of those guys using every bit of the cushion. And like I said earlier, another problem with using the cushion, with it being so high, there is possible penalties for using the right rear off the wall, and that's kind of the reason why it happens, because you got to go so high on the track to use the cushion. but just tapping the right rear on the wall actually gets the truck pointed on the straightaway to give you a better exit. So it's kind of an advantage, and in order for that to not be an advantage, it is going to be a penalty.
Well,
as you can see, Martin gets into it there.
Absolutely. This is
you see, he's already taken the lead almost on that, just off of hitting the wall, and that's why it's not allowed.
Well, and
sorry to step on you there.
Well, oh no, it's okay. And here he does take the lead. That's a legit pass. He did not bounce it off the wall. Flute now taking over the lead with 6 laps to go. Quite a lot of fun to watch these trucks. Oh, he does tap the wall there off the corner. Got to be careful, though. A little bit too much slapping that wall, and you may damage that truck and throw the wheel, the steering a little bit out of whack. It's a finesse thing, regardless of whether you gain an advantage or not. You don't want to hit it quite so hard. But Flute now hanging on to that spot. That was a totally legit pass there for the lead. And that was something else to watch. These drivers really utilizing that cushion well. There's Nick Geilis holding on well there in 3rd place. That's fine for him to be able to start near the front. Now Briscoe, he's been one of the best runners here in the trucks, and he mentioned it last week in the interviews. He really wasn't looking forward to the dirt racing, but there you go. A lot of these drivers thinking that dirt's for farmers. Looks like these drivers really up into that wall, and now we got a battle for 2nd place. This is Walterman and Geilis. Geilis down now low. Here comes Briscoe on the high side.
Yeah, the inside is just not worked in enough right now. Someone's got to start running down there to get it rubbered in, because right now it's way too slick to be running down there.
That high line, the preferred line right now, running through that cushion in the corners, getting the run off the corner. Looks like Briscoe getting up into the wall a little bit, but it does look like he's starting to figure out this dirt thing as he now takes the charge to the outside of Walterman. It's going to be 1 to go this time by for Martin.
Walterman got in the wall there.
He did indeed.
Briscoe trying to slide up.
There comes
not quite clear.
Briscoe trying to take that 2nd spot. He can't do it. It looks like Flute is going to take this one. And just like that, Martin Flute in the Yellow Loves truck takes the 2nd heat of tonight here at Bristol Dirt. Walterman taking 2nd, Briscoe taking 3rd, and Geilis, Timothy Harper, Jacob Gladelich, and Andrew Stabb all the way back there in 7th, not being able to start here tonight. So let's go ahead and get that final order for you up there on the screen. And that was something else. I mean, we did see the high line really work there, but certainly I think just perseverance, and eventually we were able to see Flute take that win. And I think that's something we're going to be seeing all night, as you mentioned earlier, Christian, just utilizing that cushion, being patient, running the outside, and eventually it'll open up to you. Walterman taking 2nd, Sean Briscoe in 3rd, Nick Geilis in 4th, Timothy Harper in 5th, Jacob Gladelich in 6th, and Andrew Stabb there in 7th, not getting going. But that was something else. I think we've got some more racing to look forward to right now, as they're already gridding up for heat number 3. So as we look on screen, there is your starting lineup. You got Craig Schroeder for the Capital Motor Club starting on pole position. Outside front row will be Jacob Wischen. Tyler Dixon on the 2nd row. Mark Bremkamp joining him. Ronnie Norman, front runner here in the series, at Blade Timmons also. And then Christopher Height, number 7, going to be starting here tonight. This is an interesting group here. Wischen was the fastest in practice before this race, so a lot to look forward to here. A very interesting group of drivers. Of course, Ronnie Norman up there in the points, and we'll get to the drivers' points before we get into the feature, but we get to have some more fun here as we get into this final heat race, which will qualify the order. Christian, we're ready to go here at Bristol again. Catch your breath, because here we go. It's Wischen and Schroeder leading us to the green flag, and looks like Wischen already taking that jump. He's out to the front by a large gap there.
Yeah, you can tell he's a little bit more comfortable on dirt because he was full throttle and Craig Schroeder was kind of easing into it. And you can see he has fallen the whole way back to now 5th place. Has now Ronnie Norman trying to get 2nd already, and he started in 6th. So he's already up as many positions as 3 positions now.
That is some serious wheel work there by Ronnie Norman to get up there already. We'll watch on to see whether or not he can try to tackle 2nd and 1st as well. Once again, hello to everybody joining us here tonight. Stephen Dombrowski checking in over on the YouTube chat room. Got to go for my boy Ronnie. Let's go. Absolutely. You know, we'll have that Ronnie cam going tonight for you, Stephen. Thanks for checking in with us, bud. And Josh Conover saying bottom's too greasy, still slick, or not slick yet, just greasy. So we'll have to see if that does get a little bit better for these drivers. But, you know, boss man Josh checking in and letting us know that don't run that bottom groove. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay. But when we get into that feature, you're not going to have a choice. I think, you know, you can't, not everybody can run that outside groove. Still, though, here is Ronnie Norman possibly going to take a chance and make a pass here. Here he goes down to the inside on Mark Bremkamp. Can he make it stick?
I just don't think the inside's going to work unless you absolutely throw a hard slider. Because it's like Josh said, it's too greasy down there right now. It's not worked in. I mentioned that toward the end of Heat 2. I think for maybe toward the end of Heat 4 here, it might get a little bit worked in if enough drivers are down there. But it seems like everybody's up top, just not working it in. So top's going to be the way to go.
Well, you got to run that top line if you're going to have any success, at least so far. And with only 7 trucks out there, not too difficult to find some space. But I think when you triple that, quadruple that number, you're going to be searching for space on this little half-mile dirt track. These trucks put on a great show out there. Ronnie Norman sitting in 3rd place, possibly going to take a look at 2nd. We watch on as he runs that high line. And
he's definitely faster than Bremkamp, but he can't get around him.
So that may be the story of the night. The driver in front can continue to run that high line. You may struggle to get around, but Ronnie's going to try what he can. In the meantime, out front, it's Jared Wishen who is holding on by already a 2-second gap over Mark Bremkamp. With Ronnie Norman really close to Bremkamp, and then it's about another second back to Blake Timmons. These 2 drivers about the closest battle happening out there right now.
We got a caution. Craig Schroeder hard in the wall here.
Schroeder in the wall and then facing backwards. We're going to have to take a look at that one with 6 to go. We can tell exactly what happened. This was a pass that was happening on the track with Christopher Height. So I'm wondering if this is exactly where it happened, and see if we can jump to the overhead view. Take a look at this one as it unfolds. Heights behind, trying to get in there, and we'll play it in real time and see that 18 truck of Heights. Did he try the old slide job and come up the track, or was it Schroeder who lost it himself?
I think it'll be coming out of the corner this next lap. So I don't think the 18 had anything to do with it. He probably just overstepped with the gas pedal and goes around here.
And indeed, you're right.
There he goes.
So that was all his own doing, overstepped with that gas pedal. And Christian, it's easier said than done to get around this dirt track. You know, some of these drivers not familiar as much with the dirt. I mean, it may seem like it's just an oval, it's all the same thing, turn left, push foot down, but it is something different here with dirt on the track, and certainly a real technique that you have to get used to. We're back here. It's a quick caution. Sorry about that. Jared Wishen already back in control and looking like that battle for 2nd. It looks like Ronnie Norman able to take that spot. Here comes Blake Timmons trying to take that spot from Mark Bremkamp as well.
Yeah, Bremkamp stuck on the bottom there. He restarted on the bottom, and now it's just going to be a train around the outside of him. And the cautions are going to be quick all night because I don't think there's any pitting during the heats. So I don't know if it's going to be the same case during the feature. but no pitting during the heats.
Well, Wishin is certainly looking like the driver to beat out there. It does say that he's racing for KPR Motorsports. Make sure that you mark that down. One of the KPR squad out there, but there in second, Ronnie Norman. You know him well by now, out of Clayton, Indiana. 27-year-old driver for SS Motorsports. He's sitting high in the championship standings, and he's looking very good for tonight on the dirt. We'll see whether he has anything for the rest of the field. We are white flag here. That's how quick these heats are over. Wishing.
Oh, Ronnie's sending it.
Ronnie gonna send it on the last lap, but I don't think he's got enough. It's Jared Wishin who's gonna take that checkered flag and put his name in the record books for winning heat number 3, and that is going to convert into a great starting position for tonight. So we'll take a look at the final order and then bring you up to speed for tonight's race here at Bristol Motor Speedway. There it is on your screen. Wishin taking the win and doing it in style. Ronnie Norman in second, Blake Timmons in third, Mark Bremkamp in fourth, Christopher Heitz in fifth, Tyler Dixon in sixth, and Craig Schroeder in seventh. That is something else. So I guess we do have one more heat race to go, so we'll bounce over to that, get you ready to go with that starting grid. A lot of work to do when we got these heat races here, Christian. A lot of calling to do. Looks like it'll be, I mean, talk about the ultimate P-pick here. Starting on pole will be Josh Conover. I mean, that's going to be tough for anybody to beat him. Torrance Shirt's going to be on the outside. Cody Dorsey, actually to the inside, excuse me. Cody Dorsey on the second row with Corey Danielson. On the third row, Todd Slauson and Michael Scheel. And the final starter of tonight will be Brian Jones. Brian Jones sitting high up in those point standings. So this is going to be an interesting heat. A couple of real favorites in here, I would say. Conover and Slauson, pretty high finishers typically. And Brian Jones right up there in the point standing. This a lot to play for here in this heat.
Yeah, and Josh did something very smart. I know he's probably listening. He chose the outside for this start. He saw what happened in heat 1, 2, and 3 with the outside being dominant, so he chose the outside to start the race.
Championship caliber driver making a championship move, perhaps. Josh Conover going to lead us to the green here one more time.
Oh, and we've got heavy contact.
Definitely.
Oh, no.
Brian Jones and Cody Dorsey making heavy contact here. Will it bring out the yellow flag?
No caution.
Michael Scheel. Actually, that was Todd Slauson. So Slauson and Dorsey having it come together there, and it looks like Dorsey will hit the pits. Slauson will continue. No caution flag comes out. Conover still in the lead with Torrance Shirts right behind him. Corey Danielson now engaged in a battle behind with Brian Jones. It looks like Jones emerges ahead there in the 45. This is once again a whole different type of racetrack than we have seen Jones on. Jones has been so consistently finishing towards the front. Again, one of the best championship contenders for this season. But Conover looking stellar out there for Flatline Motorsports, and last week Conover taking the sweep here of the NORA series, so hard to say he's not the favorite overall, but then come to a track that's dirt and he is ready to go. He's got the real life dirt racing experience and he's already showing it, marching out to it's already growing up to 9-10, coming up on a full second lead over Torrance Shirts, who's just trying to figure this one out here in the 33. I mean, he's running the high line for sure, scraping the wall a little bit. Looks like Shirt's really having some fun trying to get the gas down on that one. Brian Jones tucking into third, looking solid. Brian climbing 4 spots on that start. And we've already got just 10 laps to go here. Corey Danielson now 6 seconds adrift of this field, so it does kind of show you there is some difference here. If you know how to run that high line, you know how to get it done in the dirt. Danielson really struggling to keep that truck pointed right, but Conover in the Hooters machine, he's eating his buffalo wings and rolling here at with 9 laps remaining in his flatline Chevy. Christian, this is looking like a pretty dominant effort by the dirt master Josh Conover.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I talked to him earlier this week, and I said who were the guys that I should be watching to win this. He didn't mention himself at all, because I asked, I was like, "Are you considering yourself a favorite?" He said, "No way." And he's showing me wrong here, just absolutely dominating this race.
Yeah, and I would say he'd probably talk about his brother and he'd talk about others, but
Yep.
That's just Josh. He's not going to come out there and necessarily talk about himself. Though he did say in last week's interviews he was really excited to get out there on the dirt and certainly try to take it to the rest of the field. So he's certainly doing that here tonight. Torn Shirts, though, hanging on really well there for BS Motorsports in second. Just 6 laps remaining. He has to hang on to get himself a top spot for tonight's feature. And Brian Jones in that 3rd spot, still hanging on, still looking good. 11 seconds back now. Slauson has put himself in solid position to take 4th, but he is a virtual mile off of the rest of the field. You could just see the difference in driving styles there. Practically swapping ends right and left, just trying to keep this truck pointed forward. Look at how much work he's having to do in that cockpit. I mean,
I think he's actually probably driving mad too, because he got involved in that wreck right there and on lap 1. And Todd's usually he usually gets himself caught up in things that aren't his fault, and it's been tough luck this season. He drives for me, so I gotta give him a hard time, but yeah, I'm hoping his luck turns around soon.
Absolutely. Well, always, certainly, if he's your driver, we'll be quietly rooting for him here on VirtualRacing.Network. But at the same time, you gotta take the hits where they come. You gotta fight through it, keep your nose up. You never know, and possibly when you get to the feature, hey, maybe the seas will part, and all of a sudden, Clausen will have his chance to shine in the sun here in Bristol. Either way, Josh Conover doing what he does best, playing in the dirt, and it looks like he's got to watch out for, I believe that's Danielson just in front. He's about to get lapped. So Conover got to watch out for this lap truck. This could be another factor here tonight as well. Lap trucks, some of these drivers maybe not as much experience on these ovals with dirt. And the white flag comes out there for Conover. He's going to try to bring it home. There he comes across the line, and he's going to take the win here at Bristol. So Conover taking the heat win over Shirts. Congratulations to him. We'll get the final results up here in just a moment. Then we will be, I think, finally ready to set the grid for tonight's feature, though I've been wrong already once, so perhaps there are more heats to go. No, we actually do have the feature
just the warm-up.
Oh, we do have a warm-up, which will be great, and then we can get to the points.
Yeah.
So the final results from that last heat we'll be able to bring you up here on the screen, and that is Josh Conover taking that win. Torn Shirts in second. Brian Jones taking third. Todd Clausen in fourth. Corey Danielson in fifth. And, of course, Cody Dorsey and Slauson having that incident early on that brought out a caution. Michael Scheel, the final spot there in seventh, not really getting even running. So with that, let's go ahead and bring up the points and get everybody up to speed on where everybody is at before this feature gets going here. So there on your screen, you can see after 5 races, it is in fact Brian L. Jones who still leads this championship for the drivers. He's got a win to his name, a couple of top 5s, a lot of bonus points, holding that top spot down. Sean Briscoe in second place, Timothy Harper in third. Saw Timothy really struggling tonight. I know Briscoe kind of, not doing maybe as well as he would on a normal oval. So some of these drivers we're used to seeing at the front, they may not be running at the front tonight. Josh Conover gaining 2 spots after dominating both races last week, being able to take victory, climbing up there, and he's just 1 point out of third. Torrin Schertz, who we just saw in that last race as well, finishing right behind Josh Conover, and he's right behind him in the standings. Jacob Vladelich in 6th, Nick Geilis in 7th, Mark Bremkamp in 8th, Christopher Heitz in 9th, and Jason Conover, Josh's brother, another dirt master there in 10th place. So you can see the rest where they are sitting in those driver points. Now let's go ahead and get that off the screen. We'll take a look at the owner point, see where things are stacked up. You can see Flatline Motorsports leading that category, Brian Powell Motorsports in 2nd, BS Motorsports in 3rd, and still a lot of races to go, but this is already starting to form up. We're seeing a lot of the same names at the front each and every week, and this week may be a little different, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and go through the starting lineup, if you will. Christian, take it to us for tonight's starting grid for the NORA Truck Series at Bristol.
All right, so starting first. Sorry, it's a little bit hard to see.
I can take it for you, no problem. Joey?
Yeah, take it, because the words are
a little fuzzy. I got you.
Yeah.
Joey State's going to be starting on pole position tonight. Outside will be Martin Flute. Starting in the 2nd row will be Jared Wishin. You saw him take that victory already tonight. Josh Conover will be starting on the inside, excuse me. You saw him take victory as well. Jason Conover, Josh's brother, will be starting on that 3rd row. Dylan Walterman going to be starting alongside. Then you got Ronnie Norman, be starting next to Torrin Schertz. Cody Reeder will be next to Sean Briscoe. Blade Timmons right alongside will be Brian Jones. Got Matthew George alongside Nick Geilis. Remember, Geilis wants to buy that sword. Keep an eye on him. Mark Bremkamp will be starting next to Todd Slauson, John Cottle, and Timothy Harper. And then Christopher Heitz will be next to Corey Danielson, David Chandler next to Jacob Vladelich, Tyler Dixon, and Cody Dorsey. Finally, Brad Fulham and Andrew Staub, Craig Schroeder, and Michael Scheel. That will round out your field for tonight's race, and it's going to be something else to get 27 of these trucks out there. I don't see that Scheel's going to take this start, but 27 trucks. We've only seen 7. What do you think, Christian? Is this going to be okay, or are we going to survive more than one lap?
I don't think so. As we're going green, I don't think we're making it to the end of this lap without a caution. Someone's going to wreck.
Well, they head into turn 1, and already we're seeing some side-by-side action as they have not drifted into single file quite yet. Flute marching out to a quick lead. You've got States there holding on to 2nd. States going to try the inside. We're 3 wide through the corner momentarily, with it looks like the 96 drifting back. Wishin, he took the early victory, and now just up in front, some more contact. That's Conover into the outside wall. And now some more contact a little bit further back. That's the number 1 car of Dylan Walterman.
He's still struggling down into the corner.
Still wrecking out there. Lots to talk about here tonight. Back up in front, it's Martin Flute, who's having no difficulties thus far, but you see that gaggle happening behind him up the track. And we've got Schertz.
Yep, truck into the wall.
Schertz having a major difficulty there. We'll have to see if we can catch him. There he is. He's kind of blinking a little bit. That could have caused part of the issue there. So we'll back it up and take a look. This was Sean Briscoe getting by Torrin Schertz just a minute ago, and you could see how close these trucks were together. Schertz in the 33 truck, and I think he may have blinked out, and that was all it took to get spun around. into the inside wall. So New Jersey driver having some difficulty in the early going here. And that does bring out our first full course caution. We're not going to see anybody, I don't think, coming down to the pits. So we'll go ahead and step aside for just a moment. Stay here on VirtualRacing.Network. We're going to be right back. And welcome back here to Bristol Motor Speedway. It's already been a lot of action. We've seen one crunch already, as unfortunately Torrance Shirts has found his way into the wall. But he's gone in and tried to take some repair on that truck and already getting going again here. So Martin Flute just about to take this one back to green. And we've got a whole night filled with this, so look out, because we've got a lot of side-by-side action coming your way. Flute's sending it down into turn one, no problem for him. Conover recovering nicely into second place. Briscoe giving it a shot. We're already 4 wide just behind. I'm just watching to see whether all these trucks make it through, and this is just too much to even try and call. The 43 truck there of Joey States up in the mix. There you see the 1 truck in this one as well. Cody Reeder, Nick Geilis having quite a battle here a little bit further back. Some of these trucks getting into that outside wall. There's Geilis into that outside wall. There's the 88 machine as well. Up in front, there's Briscoe, who's marched into that 3rd spot. He's already, Briscoe up 7 spots here. He says he doesn't really look forward to the dirt, but look at this guy tear it up. Meanwhile, Flute out in front by a good chunk, 0.8 of a second. So Blake Timmons Racing got to be proud with that. Conover holding down second for Flatline, and then behind you see this mess already. The Wishin and Jason Conover battling it out for that 4th spot. Jason Conover in the 21 marches ahead just behind.
Big contact. Big contact between the 1 and 22. It's still going on down into, I think this is turn 1, maybe turn 3.
There is that battle happening between the 1 and 24.
Big wreck.
Looks like Bremkamp involved.
Blade Timmons around.
Timmons around. Now pulls it into the pit. Oh, comes down and smacks that inside wall. So let's see if we can tell. Here's taking a look at Blade Timmons on board with Blade, and he just overcorrects there potentially. We'll take another look at it, see if he had help, but corrects and heads into that outside wall, and then unfortunately makes a little contact with the inside wall, takes some more contact with the inside wall. That was a lot of unfortunate action. This is looking out the back of Timmons, and no, he didn't get any help there coming through the corner. He just corrected a little bit much. That sent him around. So with that one, it's going to send us to another caution, as mentioned. Blade Timmons finding himself in the pits, trying to take repairs. Martin Flute, your leader here at Bristol Dirt. We're just 14 laps into this, not even 10% done. Conover in second, Briscoe in third, Jason Conover fourth, and Jared Wishin, your top 5. We'll be back in just a moment and pick up the action. Are back underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway with Blake Timmons in the lead. Second is Josh Conover. You see a battle happening already here at the front between Josh and Jason Conover, brothers. I mean, in a way, this is a dream come true to race against your brother, but the last thing you want is your brother to door you. So Josh Conover not enjoying a little bit of a challenge there. But also here comes Sean Briscoe up into this mix, making it 3 wide between the Conover brothers and Briscoe. Now Jason Conover takes over second. You got Briscoe and Jason Conover, and Josh Conover racing for that third spot. Martin Flute jumping out to another sizable margin of a lead, but still side by side here, as it looks like Briscoe trying to work.
And that pass that Jason put on Josh was all due to Josh just overstepping the cushion, getting the right front in the wall, and he couldn't get off the wall. And Jason took advantage of that.
This is just some tight action here at Bristol Motor Speedway. If you're enjoying this one, smash that like button down there, and we'd appreciate it. Also, make sure you let us know in the chat.
Oh, we got a wreck.
I believe it's Tim Harper. Tim Harper is around and sitting backwards there. Oh, gets into another truck. Tim Harper's night not going the way that he would like. Now jumping back to the back of the field. Looks like State still stuck on pit lane as well. Harper bringing out that yellow. Though
the 16 and 45, heavy damage in that one.
We can tell exactly what happened with the 99 truck. Number 1 just kind of comes right up into him, and unfortunately that is the 16 and the 45. The 45 being your championship leader, Brian Jones there. That is some major damage, and also John Cottle, he had a great finish last week. So 2 real front runners already collecting themselves into Timothy Harper, and Tim Harper right up there in the championship standings as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Timmy, while he was sitting backwards, another truck came over and clipped his left front. I think that was the 13 truck involved in that one.
David Chandler now sitting now coming down onto pit road to join Tim Harper. So make sure to let us know out there in chat land, in YouTube land. Just let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting on out there, and whether you're enjoying this broadcast. I know it's a lot to try to keep up with. These positions are changing so rapidly out here, but it's been a lot of fun so far, and bet you wish you were sitting up there in the stands in the virtual iRacing Bristol Motor Speedway, getting a little bit of dirt on your face. That's always the pleasure, sitting down low in those grandstands. Get a little bit of dirt thrown up into your face. Good stuff here so far that we've seen out of this race. Martin Flute pretty much dominating this one so far, able to pull out a pretty good advantage just about every single restart for Blake Timmons Racing. Jason Conover has come forward 3 positions so far, really made a good effort thus far, and certainly you can see why he has an advantage, having been in real life dirt racing. In third place, Sean Briscoe. He said he didn't really like dirt racing, but here he is up 7 spots already and sitting in that 3rd spot. Josh Conover, I mean, I hate to say there's some big expectations, but you know, he and his brother are real life dirt racing experts, so to see him possibly outside of the top 3, well, it's a long race, but that would be interesting. Some of these trucks choosing to come down pit lane. Cody Reeder sitting in that 5th spot.
That's just the choose cone there.
So choosing to come down that alternative lane, that choose cone. For fun, I suppose.
Yeah, Josh came from 4th. He was going to be 4th on the outside. He decided, I'm going to go to the bottom and I'm going to take that front row.
I guess you can. So by taking advantage of that choose cone, Conover moves up into 2nd and puts one over on his brother Jason.
I don't know how this is going to work out. We saw how well the outside was on restarts in the heat. I don't know if he's going to be able to clear Jason. It's going to be interesting to see.
Well, either way, we look forward to finding out how the Conovers managed to handle this one. Nobody has seemed to have anything for Flute thus far, and we're back under green here at Bristol.
I think Josh forgot to take his pillow away. He was sleeping there for the start there.
Well, you can see quite a gaggle behind. Now it's coming up on 3 wide. Conover, and Briscoe. Cody Reeder now part of that group, and Flute having a little bit of an issue there. It looks like he started to come down the track. Jason Conover having to check up behind him with Josh's brother, and now here comes Jason. Ooh. Running that high groove. He's going to try to take that lead, but can't quite do it. There, Josh tucks in behind. Now we got some more action a little bit further back. This is Guileless, Wishin, and Slauson in this group with Shirts and Norman just behind. There, Norman leading that next group back. I think you got to be a little careful that you don't get caught up in an incident this early on in the race. I mean, still so long to go here. And Jason Conover taking over that lead while we were focusing in the mid-pack. So Conover and Flute now racing side by side with Josh Conover now on the inside.
I think Jason's got a great run coming off that corner, and it's going to be a situation where Jason's probably faster than Martin, but with Martin running that top, he needs Martin to make a mistake. Jason's going to try the bottom, but I don't think it's rubbered in enough yet. As you can see, Martin's going to just power off on exit and hold the lead there.
Easier said than done here at Bristol Motor Speedway. You can chuck it in there, but can you make it stick? That is the question. As you see, Josh Conover now going by on the low side, and looks like Jason's struggling a little bit, not able to match quite the pace of Martin Flute, and that is not what we were expecting here tonight. We thought it might be the Conovers who might take this one easily, but Flute having something to say about that and really running a great race so far.
I'm not sure if our cameras were on it, but that last lap, Josh threw the textbook slider on Jason Conover. I mean, he went from bottom to top, and he told Jason, hit my bumper because I'm coming up.
Indeed, and now we look on and see this battle here with Cody Reeder. It looks like he's trying to hold on to that 4th place.
Oh my goodness.
Up into
I'm sorry, but Josh just took the lead. Wow. If you can replay that one, that was an incredible move.
Josh did take over the lead, but he does lose the lead.
Oh. Contact off the corner.
I'd love to bounce to that replay, but this action is too good. We're too wide for second, and we don't know if we're going to see a battle for first, and now we are. It's Josh Conover challenging Martin Plude on the outside. These two racing side by side with Jason Conover just behind, and I tell you what, the Conover brothers got to be happy with how much fun this race is. I'm sure they're having a ball behind that wheel.
Tell you what, I nearly jumped out of my seat when I saw Josh do that. He drove the whole way down again, slid right up in front of Martin's nose, and powered into the lead. That was impressive.
Well, there he's able to ride that cushion on the outside to the lead. Comes up and scrapes the wall. That's a little bit too high up there, Christian.
Yeah, and Jason going to take advantage with the slider. Josh into the wall again. It's going to be the Conover brothers for the win. Whoever wrecks the least is going to win.
And we have a yellow flag. It looks like Andrew Staub, unfortunately, coming to a rest there on the bottom, and see if we can figure out what happened to Staub. This was just a moment ago, and it looks like he gets in a little too deep and gets tagged by another truck that comes through. So unfortunate for him. He ends up sideways on the track. That will bring out our next caution. I would love to be able to back it up here and see if I can find that pass for first. I think this is the one
it was on lap 34.
About. Yes, okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at this pass that Christian is raving about here for the lead. Josh Conover, you know, I think Flute just got a little sideways on entry, and Conover sees the moment. Perfect textbook slide up pass for him. Excellently done. And Flute did manage to take over at that point, but easier said than done for Josh to hold on to that position. A lot of these trucks down here into the pits. So we watch on to see whether or not, or who it will be, but Jason Conover able to hold on to the lead and stay out there. The top 11 trucks choosing to stay out. Now I do see the Cody Dorsey bringing it down into pit lane. So a lot of these trucks taking their first pit stop on the night. What do you think about jumping a little bit off strategy of the top 10?
Well, based on real life from this weekend dirt race, and everyone who stopped during stage 1 stayed out at the end of stage 2, because tire wear doesn't really mean anything here, because they have the radials now for the trucks here, so they don't have the slicks. So I think maybe this could be a winning strategy, but if you're going for points, you got to stay out here. You got to try to be up front for stage 2, because we've seen that on back in the field is just mayhem. So the more time out front, the safer you are.
Absolutely.
And I think this is the stage break. I'm assuming it's on lap 40.
Definitely the first stage break on lap 40, and it just so happened that Staub being sideways was part of that. But Jason Conover taking the top position at the moment. Josh Conover in second. Actually, I'm seeing Ronnie Norman now punching up into second.
That's because he took the choose cone, and he's going to start inside row. I think the first 4 trucks all stayed to the outside.
Well,
I love this roll. I love it.
You talk about some heads-up strategy. Ronnie Norman out there is Steven Dombrowski. He's got something to root for, because Ronnie Norman right now has made his way up into second. Josh Conover marches back into third, and fourth will be Brad Fulham, who has shown 21 positions gained for Full Said Motorsports. You got to be pretty happy with that, Christian.
Oh, I am. I've been watching the 91 and 22 both doing really well, so I'm hoping he gains some more.
Well, already up in the top 5 from a long ways back. Brad Fulham looking to cash in. We're back underway here at Bristol, but for how long? See if we can catch our breath. Jason Conover leading us back with Ronnie Norman on the inside. Josh Conover just on the outside. You can see how many trucks are still battling it out back there to sort this one out. Sean Briscoe.
Sorry, just a note, the 5 of the top 6 right now all chose the outside. So all 5 of the trucks on the outside are in the top 6. So that inside lane, definitely a disadvantage.
And definitely, just as we thought with those heat races, that inside lane proving to be not really that usable. But just as we say that, here comes Sean Briscoe on the inside, taking that third position away from Martin Flute and Ronnie Norman. Norman starting to drift back there. I wonder if perhaps Norman is starting to struggle with the age of those tires possibly playing a role here. But here comes Flute up into third as Briscoe slides back a little bit. Jason Conover still up in front by 1.5 seconds over his brother. Looks like Josh got up into the wall a little bit there coming through the corner.
Yeah, and Jason's got to be careful because he is running the cushion, and I've seen that right rear touch the wall a few times. If Josh penalizes his own brother for using the wall too much, that'd be interesting. But oh no, the leader!
Jason gets into it,
no.
And there is Martin Flute. Multiple trucks now getting crashed into this one. We've got
the one
Ronnie Norman, and they're still wrecking. This is the big one. I didn't think we would see this here tonight. Oh my goodness.
That was just...
I don't even know if we can talk about how many trucks were just involved in that one, but a lot of them. Brian L. Jones, your points leader, involved. Cody Dorsey involved. Danielson involved. And now it looks like Flute down onto pit lane to try to take repairs. And Christian, that is how fast things go away for these top runners. Jason Conover in the middle, caught right in the middle of this one. Let's take a look here at what happened to Jason as he catches a lap truck. I believe that's the 29 there that he managed to catch. 79 of Tyler Dixon.
Yes.
79 of Tyler Dixon. You see just how many are wrecking there. Oh my goodness. So many trucks are going to need a new paint job after this race. It's crazy.
I tell you what, Todd Slauson had probably the wildest ride through that, and he avoided it all. Him and Nick Geilis. I think actually Nick, he went from top the whole way to the bottom during the wreck, and he barely scrapes by past the 2.
Well, you mentioned Mr. Coates' wild ride. Here it is from on board with Todd Slauson, the number 22 truck. This is what he saw. You see the wreck happening up in front. He manages to take the low line, just missed the pit entrance. And I'll tell you what, that Bass Pro Shops Little Caesars machine is celebrating with some extra pizza from Little Caesars, and that is something else to avoid it. But what more can be said? We just saw, unfortunately, Christian, part of racing at the front is you got to kind of clear the track for everybody else, and if there's a lap car up in front that gets it sideways, you got to be the first one that gets into that action, and that's exactly what we just saw here tonight. Yeah,
we've seen it a couple of times in real life NASCAR where the lap card maybe doesn't get out of the way of the leaders. I think Kyle Busch has been the most vocal about lap cars in real life, but yeah, that lapper just stepped over the limit, got around in front of the leader, and it piled up from there. I don't know.
It's heart-wrenching to see that, because we were just seeing Jason Conover doing so well out there. Let's see if we can tell from Tyler Dixon's point of view exactly what went wrong here. This on board with the 79, it looks like this almost comes to a stop, and there he gets tagged, and the rest is pretty much history. With so many slamming into each other, it's hard to even count the number of trucks that got hit in that one. With the 18, you got one driver.
Too many to count.
You got one driver just driving through 4 or 5 different trucks that are sideways there at practically full speed.
I ran out of fingers to count how many trucks were involved in that, but the pace truck's in already.
All right. Well, that being said, we are just about to jump back from the caution, and it will be Josh Conover who brings us back to the green flag with Jared Wishon. 2 of your heat winners right there. Sean Briscoe showing very well so far in that 3rd spot. Nick Geilis, hey, that sword is starting to creep up into the mind of Nick Geilis. He's thinking, hey, I can see it from here. Just behind, it's Todd Slauson in that 22 machine for Full Send Motorsports taking a look. Looks like Geilis just getting a little sideways, and Slauson able to get up there. And here, Briscoe and Wishon fighting it out as they do now cross over, and here comes Josh Conover starting to back up a little bit, so Briscoe might give it a shot here. He's making that inside line work.
Yeah, you can start to see a little bit of a shine down there on the bottom, and that's rubber building into the bottom, so now it's not as slick as it was, so he's going to stay in that dark brown line that's formed on the bottom, and that's a lot of grip, and you can see that in a snap of a finger almost, now the preferred line has gone to the bottom. Everyone is going to start going to the bottom now.
So we will find out what happens, but Sean Briscoe, a pioneer of sorts, taking that inside line and making it stick. Josh Conover holding tight to that outside line. Jared Wishon doing exactly the same thing. See these drivers still trying to hold that cushion on the outside. I do wonder, though, like you said, Christian, how long until that crossover to the low line. There you can see Wilson.
It's already happening.
Wishon starting to come down the track there. Geilis just behind.
I don't think it's quite ready in 1 and 2 yet, but definitely in 3 and 4, the bottom is ready.
Well, I would say we're going to watch what Conover does. He's got a lot of experience. You see him really coming down the track there, at least through turn 4 there. Now, we watched through 1 and 2. He rides the high line all the way through the line, through the corner, but he does bring it down on exit. So it looks like his trick is to bring it down on exit. But here comes Wishon taking that low line. Is he going to be able to make it stick like Briscoe could? He is making a good solid gain on Conover.
I think he went a little bit too low there in 1 and 2. He went down underneath the rubber and got a little bit slicked up. But what's happening with the top is, with everyone running the bottom, it's kicking dirt up to the top and kind of covering up that rubber and almost making the cushion come down a little bit.
Indeed, that is an interesting thing to see. Of course, we have that here on the iRacing service. So cool to be able to check it out and see it in real time, watch that line move around. But certainly you got to do a little bit of exploring if you're out there behind the wheel, see if you can tell where exactly the line is starting to emerge. You can't necessarily just visually see it, you got to feel it out. And it looks like Wishon now starting to fall back a tiny bit as Geilis is starting to emerge as a podium contender here, starting to poke his nose up there into this front group. Slauson starting to fall off of that top group a little bit as well. So as we get a little bit further back, this is Matthew George he's started to emerge up there, one of the Flatline Motorsports teammates. And hey, we've got a new leader. It's Sean Briscoe. He's doing well so far, holding out there in the front, and he is starting to pull away. 2.7 seconds. He's now pulling a gap, and I tell you what, this is quite a strategy here, Christian. Just take that lead and run away with it.
Yeah, and he's in lap traffic right now, which is kind of forcing him to go to the bottom, and all these trucks still up top, so he is gaining some time as now he makes me look like an idiot as he goes to the top. But I still think the bottom lane is going to be the way to go. He might have went to the top knowing that the 14 is running the bottom. As you can see, he's going to put Jacob Gladich a lap down here as he's going to clear him.
Already lapping up to 14th place as this one is turning into a battle of those who seem to be able to work this dirt and those who can't. Josh Conover hanging on to second, but wishing right there on the outside, trying to take advantage. Nick Geilis making this, he was making it a battle for podium position, now starting to fall off of that lead group, now 1.5 seconds back.
Oh, no. Oh, Brad Fulham around right in front of Wisham.
And unfortunately for the Full Send Motorsports driver, Brad Fulham, the lone Canadian in tonight's field, lone non-American in tonight's field, fortunately does end up around, and I do see that it looks like Jason Cano maybe also having, no, that's looking a little bit far back there. So let's see if we can tell what happened to Brad Fulham here. Kind of by himself there, and he just had a moment where he just came around. We've seen that already before, where another driver on entry just kind of, gets a little sideways on entry, and that's all it took. A little bit of damage to that truck and bring it around. So while some of the leaders are now coming down into the pits, we got Josh Conover, Jared Wishin down into the pits, Matthew George, Nick Geilis, and Ronnie Norman. We're going to step away for a moment here on VirtualRacing.Network. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you get all these great NORA Truck and Cup Series races delivered right to your inbox and get a chance to see it all season long. I'm Trevor Greenfield. We're enjoying this one with Christian Snyder. We'll be right back. and welcome back live here to the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. Once again, I'm Trevor Greenfield, joined by Christian Snyder in the booth. We're just about halfway done with this one. Sean Briscoe, your leader here. Todd Slauson in second, Mark Bremkamp in third, Tim Harper recovering great for fourth, and Brian Jones in fifth. We're back underway.
Oh, and already trouble on back in the field. Josh Conover decided to pit, and the guy in front of him did not go.
Well, Conover falling backwards in a hurry, but this is quite a battle happening in front with Tim Harper sliding up into third and now almost getting up into Todd Slauson. That's one of your drivers, Christian, there for Full Send Motorsports. It looks like some more action with Jared Wishin caught in the middle of this one. Brian Jones still in the middle of, I don't know how Brian Jones, I thought he made contact earlier. Somehow he's still in this one.
Probably just aerodynamic damage for Brian. He didn't hit the wall too hard, so I think he's still got a chance at probably a top 5 here tonight.
Throw a little bit of bear bond on it. It's good as new. Back up in front, Sean Briscoe making his name stand out as a dirt racing driver. You wouldn't have thought so a week ago. I doubt he would have thought so, but here he is leading by a second and a half, and we'll just have to see how far he can lead this one out into this gap, because Mark Bremkamp currently holding on in second, Tim Harper in third, Conover back there in eighth. In the meantime, Tim Harper having a great recovery, and Briscoe shown up 9 positions, Bremkamp up 13, Harper up 15 positions, but there comes Guileless on, you talk about full send, but racing for Nightmare Motorsports, and he's got dirt all over the front of that thing, but he is sending it into third. We've got a yellow flag. It's Matthew George, Craig Schroeder, a number of these drivers involved in this one. Look at this.
Man.
There's 5 trucks sitting like it's a parking lot out there. We're going to have to take a look at what caused this one here.
Oh, that would be the 18 of Christopher Heights. Just came down at 3.
This is Matthew George and the 18, as you said, Chris Heights, and that sends 4 trucks, 5 trucks, 6 trucks, 7 trucks involved in this one, and that is unfortunate. We see yet even more action. So George, Schroeder, Chandler, Walterman, Dorsey, Fulham, all involved in that one. Take a look from Fulham's point of view, and we can see exactly what took place here, but this is not going to be pretty. Fulham can see this kind of materializing in front of him, and I just think he has no place to go. I mean, the track ends up completely blocked. Did you see there? Oh, tries to take it to the inside, but that dirt kind of sends him around.
Yeah, when you lock up the brakes on dirt, it typically wants to take you about 90 degrees to the left. So that's exactly what happened there. And I do want to update you earlier under caution, we heard someone blow up. That was the 75 of Andrew Staub. He has taken it behind the wall. He told me it was just driving around and it blew up on him. No clue, no indication, so that's kind of weird.
Well, this is kind of a weird race at a weird track. What can I say? Weird things happening to the cars. It's not Halloween. I don't think it's a virtual full moon, but either way, it's been an eventful evening, if nothing else. Sean Briscoe, you know, again, a week ago, the last driver of the top drivers that you would have circled and said, I think he's going to be leading at the halfway mark. But with 10 laps to go here to the second stage, there are a lot of points that are up for grabs. And Briscoe, Bremkamp, Guileless, Harper, Slauson, the top 5 right now that are right in the middle of this one. I do see that looks like Ronnie Norman is on pit road, choosing to take a little bit of fuel on board, perhaps. Taking damage repair. Sitting there for some time, but Cody Reeder, Corey Danielson, also sitting there on pit road. Dorsey as well. Matthew George sitting sideways in that pit stall. But definitely, unfortunately, it looks like Norman having to sit there for a little bit of time. And we'll try to keep you updated when we see him rolling. There he is rolling again. So he emerges back out onto the racetrack in 13th place. It looks like he got out there ahead of losing a lap. So good news for the Ronnie Norman fan club out there. About to get this one back underway here. Christian, 7 cautions so far. Only 82 laps completed. We have no idea how many cautions we might see before the end of this one, but it's been a dirty race with a lot of dirt flying, a lot of tempers rising in this one, and I think we're going to see some more sends before the end of this one.
Yeah, we can see Nick Geilis, he chose the inside. He actually had a really good start here. I think he's going to get ahead of Mark Remkamp and take second here.
Well, he does take that second place, but does he have enough to get up there and challenge Briscoe? So far, it's been looking like a couple of weeks ago at COTA, where about nobody had anything for Briscoe except for one Vincent Arthur. But at the same time, Timothy Harper, side by side,
trouble.
He gets right into Brian Jones, and Jones goes and rides up on that wall. You saw some sparks there from the concrete.
Oh, Jones isn't happy.
Jones applies the chrome horn there to Timothy Harper and lets him know, I'm not happy with that maneuver, Harper. And not able to have exactly the same effect, but it looks like they're
still going at it.
A little bit of what we call some argy-bargy happening on track between Jones.
Yeah, and they're having words too.
I can only imagine. We've chosen not to have the voice chat on for tonight's race, and that might be a good thing to do.
Very good decision.
But I tell you what, here at the front, it's Geilis and Briscoe. Geilis taking that low line, giving Briscoe a little taste of his own medicine. So
I did not expect Nick Geilis to be top 3. Usually he's not a dirt racer, but apparently he has picked up his craft over the offseason. He's going to probably dive bomb, maybe? No, he's going to choose to stay in line. But I don't remember. I've been here for 5 years, and Nick hasn't been good on dirt. That I remember.
Well, you know, it's like sometimes the oval racers that come over to a road course, they don't think they're going to do well, and then somehow they turn into a great road racing driver. Now, you got Jared Wishon right there as well, so this turning into a 3-way battle. But also, you got to keep in mind, maybe he's been running some dirt races, but if you're not used to running a lot of dirt races, you may not know what you need to do when you're at the front of one of these things. And it looks like Geilis there overcorrecting a little bit and getting into Wishon and starting to fall backwards. It's still Briscoe in front, but now it's Wishon who's in second.
And it's all about momentum, so whenever Nick got into Wisham there, he lost all of his momentum, and you can see that's dropped him about 5 truck lengths. He'll slowly get back into it and probably catch up, as we got the caution for the stage. That was actually the last lap there. Sean Briscoe going to win stage 2.
Briscoe taking stage 2 with ease. So Briscoe, Wishon, Geilis, Bremkamp, and Josh Conover gets back up into the 5th spot to take some points there in the top 5. So with that
truck looks worse for wear.
There's a lot of trucks that look worse for wear. Let me tell you, Christian, this is if you're in charge of getting these trucks into great condition for the next race, you've got your hands full between now and our next race. But good thing there's a little bit of a gap here. But anyway, we're going to step aside for a moment. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. You won't want to miss the end of this one if it's anything like the first half. Stay tuned. And we are back here live at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. Tempers continue to flare here at Bristol. Christian, you've got some notes here looking at pit lane between the number 99 of Timothy Harper and number 45 of Brian Jones.
Yeah, they came out side by side, and it looked like Timmy was turning the wheel a little bit left to try to go into Brian, but with this pit road, they go through each other, so he kind of drove through him in a sense. So Timmy's still not happy with Brian because we saw it briefly there. Timmy kind of overdrove the corner, got into Brian Jones. Brian, clearly not happy about it, came back the next corner and put Timmy into the wall. We saw it in real life, Ryan Preece and Kyle Larson situation where someone steps over the boundaries, puts someone in the wall, you get them back. And that's just going to be part of racing. That's it's been a part of NORA. They try to limit it because obviously it's affecting the race. If Timmy were to go back at Brian now, it's going to cause a caution, so we don't want that. So we'll have to see because Brian is starting one row behind Timmy, so maybe just keep one camera on them throughout the night.
I would love to be able to do like a picture-in-picture thing, but we will definitely keep an eye on that battle, especially if they get close together. But it is Jared Wishon who's going to lead us back to the green flag here at Bristol. And we've got about 55 more laps of action here. No idea how this one's going to unfold. Second is Cody Reeder. Cody taking a look down to the inside on Wishon for that top spot. Not able to do so. Here comes Guileless back on the outside. It's getting tight there. I think it looks like Guileless able to take over that position once again into second.
Yeah, and Reeder moved up as far as he did by that choose roll that they have here in NORA. He went to the pit road and chose the inside. He went from being in 5th place to starting on the inside row, and that's why I absolutely love this series and how they have come up with all these amazing rules that you don't see anywhere else.
Certainly lots of strategy coming into play, and you got to know what the rules are and take advantage of them as you can. A little bit of side-by-side action a little bit further back here with Conover and Slauson. Slauson trying to get back up there where he was before, up in the top 5, and not quite able to do so. And here comes Cody Reeder back on the inside. Now he's going to slide up in front of Nick Guileless.
Contact.
And we've got that contact there between Slauson. He's starting to go
Save
around.
it.
Oh, and he gets into the number 1 truck of Dylan Walterman there on the outside. I think everybody manages to actually make it through that one. Miraculously.
It looks like the one maybe has a little bit of engine damage. I saw a puff of smoke there.
So the one now off speed, but no problem out in front for Wishon, who manages to open up a 1.3 second gap over Sean Briscoe. And these two pretty much racing by themselves. Nick Guileless now holding down 3rd. He's looking pretty solid out there as well. These trucks racing so high up in the track, kicking dirt up into the stands, and some real fun these drivers are having getting to play with these lines up there on the top group that you just don't get to run this at normal Bristol when it's paved. But looking a little bit further back, there's Cody Reeder, Josh Conover. Now a close battle happening between them. Josh trying to take over that 4th spot, dives down to the low line, and again, that low line wasn't where it was going to happen, and looked like he went up and tagged the wall.
And I do just want to update our viewers. The one of Dylan Walterman has taken it to pit road. iRacing gave him a black flag for that smoke.
And that's really unfortunate. He kind of got slammed into. It really wasn't his fault. Looks like Slauson able to continue without a black flag, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. But I tell you what, 2 trucks that are getting very close together again. Tim Harper and Brian Jones just separated by a couple of trucks here, and we might see some more fireworks before the end of this one.
I'm sure by now Josh has told them to, given them warnings that if they get into each other again, they'll be penalized. So I think they're done. I hope at least that they're done wrecking each other. but they're definitely not going to race each other clean. They're going to throw sliders, run each other tight, and that's what happens in racing. You get mad at another driver. You maybe don't wreck them, but you don't race them with respect.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you get a little hot under the collar when you're racing. You're at the top of the points like Brian Jones is. And you don't want to get slammed into. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be Josh Conover, whatever. But at the same time, retaliation is a whole other thing, and the league has to deal with it. However, they need to deal with it. Make sure that's not a frequent occurrence here in the series. But either way, Josh Conover, great admin, and certainly all over that kind of thing if it needs to happen. Josh hanging on to third here. He's
big run.
And he does have a huge run here, but that's on a couple of lap cars that he's going around there. So Conover, doing his best. Look at that front of that helmet, just absolutely covered in dirt. It's like he's taking a couple of tear-offs as he came in during those pit stops, but the Hooters machine has seen cleaner days, getting dirty, doing a little bit of mud wrestling out there. And it sounds like another truck possibly popping its engine. We watch on to see who that could be. But Jared Wishin doing great. We also check over into the YouTube chat. Looks like Brady Mote's checking in. I called it. Jason was going to run away and hide, but he has horrible luck. And yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, Jason getting into it. There's Slauson getting into it with Harper momentarily, and now Jones coming through that mix.
Oh no!
And Harper getting tagged there by the number 43, and that will bring out a caution. Corey Danielson crashing in this number 19 truck, and also it looks like Nick Geilis crashing as well for Nightmare Motorsports. So we'll see exactly what brought this one out. Let's go back to this Nick Geilis incident. Or was this a solo incident? Because he is really just sort of by himself here. I'm not sure if I can... Oh, I wonder if he didn't pop his engine. Not really sure. Maybe our software not quite pointing out the right crash there. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Corey Danielson incident. This was Danielson with Brian Jones on the outside, and then the 43 gets into Danielson, sends him around. I believe that's what brings out the yellow flag.
I'm really interested to see what happened with Nick Geilis, because I thought he was running second, and I don't see anything that caused him to drop back to 11th. Maybe possibly iRacing dropped him.
Tough to say, but here he comes calling.
It is
truck, right?
iRacing dropped him for a lap. They did not pick up his timing line, and he went a lap down by just simply running around the track.
So that's probably why our software showed him crashing, was because for a second, iRacing somehow having a glitch, not picking up his timing scoring transponder.
Yeah, and they did give him back the position. He is now back up to third, but I have never seen anything like that. I've seen it if like someone blinks out, but he was solid. No issues there. That's interesting.
Either way, giving him that space back, and that's interesting stuff to have happen in the middle of a race. Like I said, if you had told me this was like Halloween or a full moon tonight or something,
right?
I would have believed you, because we've seen some very weird stuff here at this weird track, this Bristol dirt track. But it's been an interesting race so far. I know I keep saying that, but I mean, so much action inside, outside, slide moves. I mean, we've seen it all here. Trucks in the wall. New rivalry started tonight. Speaking of which, guess who's going to be starting right next to one another? We've got Brian Jones and Tim Harper going to be starting right next to one another. And once again, too bad we can't do the picture-in-picture, because that'd be something else. Ronnie Norman checking into the pits, going to take on some service here. We get some more repairs done on that number 6 truck.
An update on the choose cone. Nick Gillis takes the bottom, goes from what would have been third on the outside down to second on the inside now.
Again, the choose cone becoming a major strategy factor here. Certainly giving Gillis a chance at the front, regardless of whether he can make it stick or not. It's got to be nice to just not be starting behind other trucks. I mean, the way that some of these other trucks have gotten caught up in incidents, it's the you don't want to be too far back, and certainly if you can see clean air, that's got to be an advantage of some sort.
Yeah, the clean air is definitely enticing whenever you're trying to decide, do I go inside or outside? You see 4 trucks take the outside. You almost have to take the inside to try to get the lead, as we see the pace truck pull off now.
Pace truck is off, and Wishon is on the gas. We're back underway here. 117 laps we're working on here, and it looks like Gillis and Reeder now 3 wide with Briscoe as well. There's Gillis in the middle, Reeder to the inside, and Reeder.
We had 3 wide there, 3 wide in the back. These guys are getting racy. You can tell there's less than 40 to go, and these guys are on it now.
Speaking of on it, speaking of sending it, here comes Josh Conover. He just laid a big old move on Nick Gillis. He's still trying to.
Not gonna work.
It's not gonna work, and he keeps trying to make it work. But Conover, not, he's there at the end. That's what we're going to watch for tonight. Can he be there at the very end, and will he be in the top 3? It seems to be his strategy. And just as I say that, he tags Cody Reeder and brings out the next caution.
Yeah, and what happened there, I was watching it there. Josh tried sliding Nick Gillis, and then kind of Cody Reeder stepped off the gas a little bit up ahead, so there wasn't enough room for Josh to slide in between the two, and he got into Reeder there.
There from onboard, you can see it looks like he got tagged a little bit from another truck from behind as well.
Yeah, spotting is very difficult here at Bristol, so I'm thinking his spotter maybe told him that he was clear, not recognizing that Reeder was backing off. So he heard clear, came up, and then Reeder checked up ever so slightly, and he had no idea he was there. That was not intentional by any means, just no idea he was up there.
Well, certainly Josh wouldn't have kept his foot in it if he had known there was another truck there. He certainly doesn't want to do any extra damage to that truck or anyone else as the owner of the NORA Truck Series. But with that, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back here. Don't even think about changing it. Go grab another beverage. Come on back to the couch. We'll see you in just a second. and welcome back live here. Once again, thanks for joining us here tonight, this wonderful Monday night, day after Easter. VirtualRacing.Network. It's time for the NORA Trucks to shine a little bit more. 25 laps remain here. Who will take victory? It's Jared Wishon who's in the lead. Tim Harper manages to get into second place with Sean Briscoe on the outside, and Briscoe easily taking that position back up into second. Cody Reeder now taking that third spot for KPR Motorsports away from Tim Harper. And look out, there's Brian Jones and Tim Harper. Harper slides up right in front of Jones.
And that's another thing I said earlier. They're not going to race with respect. He just shut the door on Brian Jones, and Jones was kind of left with that decision. Do I wreck him or do I hit the brakes and let him up? And Jones chose to let him up, but he's giving him the chrome horn here in this corner.
He has given a little kickaroony to Tim Harper up in front. We'll see whether or not there's more to follow, but it looks like it did manage to punt Tim up a little ways. Tim kind of struggling there off the corner.
Oh, battle for the lead. Sorry, Sean Briscoe into the back of Wisham. He's now underneath him from that. And it's time to go.
It is time to go. 23 remain, and Wishon knows it. Briscoe knows it, and Wishon holds on to that top spot, but Briscoe trying his very best here to take victory in his NORA truck at a track that he really thought he was going to struggle at. But here goes Briscoe. He's going to try the old slide job. He does, and he just barely taps Wishon as Wishon gets around. That was a slide if I've ever seen one. I think somebody's been studying his dirt passing procedures manual. But Briscoe...
I'm really surprised he didn't get into him. He kept it off of him just barely, and Wishon just absolutely used every bit of the cushion to hold the lead here. As we're going to see it again. Here comes Briscoe.
Briscoe giving it a big effort heading into the corner, but once again that low line not enough to be able to take that position. Unfortunately, also seeing Nick Geilis in the pits again, so tough news there for the 24 machine.
Oh, we got a big battle here. Looks like Tim maybe holding up the line here. Josh Conover working the bottom underneath them. Todd Slauson working the top. Now trying to pass Josh Conover here.
Lawson trying his best to get through this, but it looks like Josh Conover sliding up the track, not able to take the position. Tim Harper holding on by the very skin of his slider nails there, and a big old slide move from Josh Conover. That's how it's done. Slides.
How does Dale Jr. say it? Odd job.
That's right. Right up the track in front of Tim Harper, and Josh lets you know a textbook slide if you've ever seen one. There it is. Tim Harper falling back there to fifth, but I think he's probably pretty happy to still be in this mix. Just behind him, Mark Bremkamp, though.
Impressive run again for Mark Bremkamp. He's kind of showing himself as maybe a contender for the championship. He's been in the top 10 most of this season.
Well, Bremkamp recovering quite well in that 78 truck and starting to look like a championship contender as he continues to put in solid runs here in the NORA Truck Series. And you know, we've only got 16 laps remaining, but I'll tell you what, another name that's emerged back at the front, here's Ronnie Norman. Ronnie has put in 11 pit stops to get that truck right, and maybe they finally got that thing right, because here he comes right past Tim Harper, and now taking a look at the top 5 here as he slid into 6th. So possibly Ronnie Norman on the march back. Todd Slauson kind of having his hands full there with that truck, going left and right and left and right, coming through these corners. I don't know if Slauson can quite get up there, but there's Brian Jones once again right behind Tim Harper. So we watch for the 45-99 rivalry, and See whether or not they finally sorted that one out. 13 laps remaining here at the front. Wishin still in the lead. Briscoe in second, Cody Reeder in third, Josh Conover in fourth, and Mark Bremkamp, your top 5 at the moment. And I'll tell you what, Brian Jones is just trying to do anything he can to get this position. And he manages to take that from Tim. I think Tim kind of backed off just a little bit there to let
Brian
go.
did that clean, so you gotta give props to Brian. He's obviously frustrated with Tim, but he just passed him clean right there, and that's a sign of respect right there.
Well, he's trying to clean it up a little bit. It was pretty dirty a little while ago. Either way, a lot of fun for us to watch out here in YouTube land. Back at the front, though, Jared Wishin by 1.3 seconds over Sean Briscoe. And Jared is absolutely setting the mark here tonight over Josh Conover in third even. And we thought this would be Josh's night. Josh did get into a little bit of a mix-up early on. His brother also, Jason, getting into a real issue early on. And Jason Conover now done with the night. Josh not done, though. Still racing on for Flatline Motorsports, holding on to third. Cody Reeder sitting back here in fourth spots for KPR, holding it down, not getting really challenged from behind at all, as Mark Bremkamp still a long ways back up the track, but he now has and he gets into, I think that's the
19?
The
maybe
19?
Of Corey Danielson?
Yeah.
As now Ronnie, maybe a slider here. No,
Well,
Bremkamp defended it.
Ronnie taking a look at that top 5. Remember, Ronnie is a player in this championship, so he needs every point that he can get for this finish. But Ronnie has done everything he can with that SS Motorsports team on pit road to try to get that truck right. And so far, it's been paying off. It's a recovery effort, but he's trying everything he can to get around Mark Bremkamp there for that 5th spot.
Just to update that, Ronnie is actually running for points in the Cup Series. He is only running for owners down here.
Ah, that's true. That is right. That's what's signified by that big O. That's why you get
Yes.
paid the big bucks, Christian. So great to have you here with us in the booth. Wish we could keep you forever, but you said you might be returning to racing here, hopefully coming up later on this season.
Yes, hopefully May 8th I'll be back behind the wheel.
Well, good news for the Christian Snyder fans out there and fans of Full Send Motorsports. Wish you good luck with that and recovery. But in the meantime, 5 to go. Norman sends it down low, racing for those owners' points. Bremkamp trying to race on here, and he steals that position back. Barney the flag man last time by, giving the high 5 to Jared Wishin. He's only got to complete 4 more this time, and he will take victory here for KPR Motorsports. What a run so far for Wishin. This has been something else to watch.
Yeah, he was fastest in practice, won his heat, and now comes out and has taken a very dominant lead here in this last heat, or last stage, I should say.
So we watch on as he continues to dominate here. Just 3 more laps remaining for Wishin. And it's been one of those nights for Wishin that has been like, and he gets into the middle here. Oh my goodness. It gets that close here with just 2 laps to go. I think he would like it to be a little bit less chaotic, but he manages to slide that truck through just barely. What a great job by Wishin. And he is about to bring it home. White flag is out here at Bristol Motor Speedway for the last time. He's going to try to bring it through. Jared Wishin through turns 3 and 4. It has been an absolutely stellar kind of night for Wishin, and he'll bring it through. The checkered flag is in the air. Jared Wishin, your winner here at Bristol.
We still got a battle for 5th as Mark Bremkamp and Ronnie Norman come into the line. Bremkamp going to defend the slider, and he'll take 5th.
He'll take 5th just in front a crashing lap car, but Ronnie Norman will finish in 6th. Brian Jones going to take 7th. Todd Slauson going to finish it out there in 8th. What a heck of a battle we saw tonight, and Wishin absolutely taking, I can't even believe that it's Wishin for KPR Motorsports who ends up in the winners column, but something tells me this kind of a weird sort of night, we were going to have a different name there in that winners column. Sean Briscoe, though, finishing a solid 2nd place. I know he didn't think that he would end up in the 2nd spot here tonight, but Josh Conover, a favorite, no doubt, for that podium position. He does end up in that final podium spot. So we're going to step aside for just a second. We will be right back with the final results, and we'll get a chance to talk with your winner, hopefully, and the rest of the podium. Stay tuned here on VirtualRacing.Network. And we are back here at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. You saw it unfold live over so many wonderful laps. Jared Wishin emerged as a force that could not be stopped, and he takes the owner's points for tonight. He takes the top spot here at virtual Bristol Motor Speedway, the dirt version. What an incredible night for the NORA Truck Series. Historic one, if I do say that. Sean Briscoe takes 2nd for Capital Motor Club, 3rd belonging to Josh Conover for Flatline Motorsports, and Cody Reeder, a great run for him. That marks 2 KPR Motorsports machines in that top 5. Congratulations to them. Mark Remkamp taking 5th as well for BS Motorsports. A great run for Mark, and certainly looking at those points at the end of this season, going to remember this race. Ronnie Norman taking 6th. Ronnie Norman Fan Club, glad to see that recovery effort for him. Brian Jones in 7th, racing for Brian Powell Motorsports. 8th to Todd Slauson at Full Send Motorsports. 9th to Tim Harper at Harper Motorsports. What an eventful night between Jones and Harper. There was some serious sparks and fireworks flying between those two. Jacob Vladelich taking your final top 10 spot with Brian Powell Motorsports. 11th to Christopher Height. 12th to Corey Danielson. 13th to Dylan Walterman. 14th to Cody Dorsey. 15th to Torrance Schertz. 16th, Nick Geilis. Well, unfortunately, that sword is going to have to wait. Didn't have the stars aligned for tonight. 17th to Matthew George. 18th to David Chandler. 19th will be Brad Fulham. 20th to Joey States. 21st to Greg Schroeder. 22nd to Andrew Staub. 23rd to Martin Flute. 24th to Jason Conover. 25th to Tyler Dixon. 26th to John Caudle. 27th, Blake Simmons. 28th, Michael Scheel. That is your final runner for tonight. Scheel never getting rolling here for tonight's race. But Christian, this was an amazing race from beginning to end. And I think it's a surprise to see Wishin up in front, but it's not a surprise to see somebody new in this winners column. And it was a weird night, but to see a brand new name up there, no surprise. And to see Sean Briscoe and Josh Conover, that's certainly no surprise either.
Yeah, very weird night indeed. I think we saw everything from the leader getting wrecked to a 10-car pileup, which I did not think I would see at Bristol Dirt. And Wisham, I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, don't quote me. I think this is his first race with the league coming in, maybe a dirt ringer. coming in and winning. So I'm not sure what his background is, but clearly dominant night for Wisham.
Well, certainly, as we'll get a chance to talk with Josh here in just a moment, you can probably fill us in. But I do agree, since we started broadcasting here, we haven't seen Wisham in the field. That's why we didn't have his team name set correctly to begin with. But now it's set correctly, and certainly KPR Motorsports has a lot to celebrate tonight. But first, we get a chance to talk with the owner and frequent front runner and challenger here in the NORA Trucks and NORA Cup Series. Josh Conover, the number 7 Team Machine, joins us in post-race discussion. The Hooters machine was flying tonight, but a little bit too much scraping the wall, maybe. A little too difficult to get up there and catch Sean Briscoe. Congratulations on a podium position, though, Josh. Great run tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it. As I was telling Briscoe and Jared, I couldn't figure out how to run the top without getting into the wall, and then I tried to slide Nick, actually I think for the last caution, got into Reader and spun myself out and took the EOL, and then of course after I had the EOL I finally figured out how to run the top and was just about as quick, if not a little bit quicker than those two up front, but at that point it was just too far back and couldn't make up the ground I lost.
Well, I'm taking a look at this truck, and I would be heading straight to Hooters afterwards if I were you, because that thing looks like it has taken a hit in every single corner, every square inch. It's like Days of Thunder. I don't think there is a single square inch that's left untouched on that truck. But talk us through what tonight was like out there, and what it was like to go through the entire race. Was this Survivor tonight? Was it what you thought it would be, being a dirt race for yourself and Jason?
Pretty much. The toughest part, especially when the track gets like that, is kind of watching, we call it the wall tapping, like on the dirt side. Basically you just get the right rear quarter, not really into the wall, but kind of just tapping it enough to where I set it over race control during the race. I've seen people gain half a second sometimes over the course of a whole lap just by doing that, to where, obviously if you're doing that and the guy leading isn't, you're gonna gain some speed on him. So trying to keep it fair, we kind of told everybody, just watch the wall taps, watch getting into it. Obviously when the cushion's that high you're gonna get into the wall, but kind of watch just keeping your foot in it and gaining time and kind of using the exploit for save. But no, actually, I'll say that actually better than I expected. Only 7 finished on the lead lap, but I think we actually had a couple big wrecks to kind of dwindle the field down a little bit. But even with that, I'll say I still expected more, I guess you could say self spins, or like 1 or 2 car spins, just from, like I said last week, just the lack of dirt experience with some of the guys in here.
Yeah, and definitely, speak of that, a couple of different names that we see up there at the front that we really didn't expect. Of course, we're used to seeing Ronnie Norman, we're used to seeing Josh Conover, and we're even used to seeing Sean Briscoe. But Briscoe, thinking that he wasn't much of a dirt racer, somehow finding his way up into second, and Wishing just popping in for this race, the first one. What's the news on him? Was this his first race? Is he a dirt race ringer? What is the story with Wishing, and how did he manage to beat so many other talented drivers here in the Truck Series?
I actually don't know. I know Reader and his one teammate Dustin Kleba, who I don't think you've actually met him yet either, but I think he's going to start joining us on Tuesday nights here in a week or two. But he's close with them, and I guess Kleba and Reader have been trying to get him to come run all season with us, and he wanted to run the dirt race. And I kind of asked him, I was like, hey, what's going on? You a dirt ringer, going to try and steal a win from us? And he didn't really say he was. He just said he kind of liked, I guess, the combo, between the trucks and the cup cars on dirt. So, but I'll say, just from kind of following him in practice and even a little bit there in the feature, the way he was attacking the cushion and could move around the track to find the moisture and stay out of the slick. He's not your average, asphalt guy just trying to run dirt, and get through the night. He knows his way around for sure. So, and Briscoe does too. I don't know if he was trying to, I guess you could say, pull the wool or sheet over your eyes with that, but I know he runs dirt quite a bit, so he was one of my picks to win. But yeah, I don't know. Jared might be one to watch tomorrow too now.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that for certain. That was something else to watch him tear it up tonight, and to hear it from your mouth that he seems to know what he's doing out there. If he shows up again tomorrow night, we may have somebody else to circle there in the wing column besides yourself and Jason. But either way, great run tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank before we move on, Josh?
Well, as always, again, broadcaster, because obviously, we all enjoy going back and watching, and obviously without you and even Christian tonight, we wouldn't have anything to go back and watch. So you guys for helping us out with that and bringing us coverage. Everybody that showed up, I know even, 28 trucks, but I know we were still missing quite a few of the independent guys who probably could have had, close to another 36 truck field. And, like I said, at Richmond last week and even Texas, dirt's tough for a lot of guys. I know there was some chatter and arguing going back and forth tonight with some incidents, but, it's part of, trying to become a champion. You got to be good at all disciplines, whether it's dirt or road course or, short track like Martinsville or super speedway. You got to be good at all of it. So luckily for the truck guys and even the cup guys, this is the one dirt track all year. And I think we go to actually Martinsville next week. So just talking about the different disciplines, you're going from a dirt track to one of the shortest tracks we'll visit. So it'll be an interesting week or two.
Absolutely. Should be a lot of fun. Always great to see you out there, Josh, and always a class act out there on the track, and appreciate seeing your efforts. And congratulations on another podium position as you continue here to be in the points. So always a good night when you can do that, and good luck at Martinsville next week.
Appreciate it. We gotta get through tomorrow first, but yeah, hopefully
right.
Martinsville goes good too.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow night. See if you can make it 2 podiums for 2, my friend.
That's the plan. We'll see.
So that is Josh Conover joining us here in post-race discussion, fresh off the track in 3rd place. He held the lead for a little bit, but there were a couple of other names that managed to do some damage ahead of him, and they fought hard all night long. And for a while, we thought maybe Sean Briscoe might be part of that conversation, being one of the top drivers, possibly even taking victory. But Sean Briscoe, Christian, you get a chance to catch up with Sean and let us know how things went.
Yeah, Sean Briscoe, you came in second today. Maybe not the position that you wanted. You wanted to win this one, but we see a guy come in that we've never seen before, outdo you. So tell us about that and tell us about your race there.
Yeah, man, I'm kicking myself because I felt like this is the best chance I've had to win in a very long time. So, especially going to a dirt track, me and Josh, raced together quite a bit on dirt. So, but yeah, man, I'm kicking myself. Jared ran a good race though. I couldn't keep up with him, especially at the end there. It seemed like I was just roasting my tires, and he was just able to pull off the corners. So, hurts, but man, 2nd place is good. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it's not going to get me. Sorry, it's not going to get me in the chase, but points wise, I think I'm pretty well in.
Yeah, I'm green now, and it doesn't look like that right rear is very damaged, and it doesn't look has damaged as other guys. So, were you able to keep it out of the wall most of the part? Because Josh said he was struggling to figure out the top, kept hitting the wall. So what was it like the inside and outside difference throughout the race?
Definitely a outside dominant track. Like you run the bottom, you just get run over, or not so much run over, but run around pretty easily. So you had to be on that. You had to be on the cushion the whole time. There was like just an ounce of, maybe about a half a foot of grip, it seemed like. And if you can get your right rear in there, you're okay. But if you just go a little too narrow or a little too fast, especially entering, you just hit the wall. So trying to keep with the rules. I didn't want to run the wall all the way around, so we had to kind of back off a little bit. But yeah, man, it was tough. It was real tough. It seemed like we only had about a foot wide length of grip that we could put our right rear on.
All right. Well, like you said, the 2nd place definitely still something good to come out of tonight, but obviously not that win. But Is there anyone out there you want to give a shout out to or thank?
Everybody at CMC, Corey and Craig, they were racing today, so glad to see them and talk to them. I look forward to racing every Monday with those guys. So yeah, man, I'm pretty happy anyway. I wish I could have won that, but second's good. It's all right.
Yeah, second always a bummer, but also good at the same time. And I'm pretty sure Trevor might want to say something to you before we let you go, because you told him last week that you weren't looking forward to Bristol, and now you're saying that this was your best chance to win. So what's going on there?
Did I say that? I don't remember. I was kind of looking forward to this race because it's a dirt thing, and I consider myself a pretty good dirt driver. I might mainly run sprint cars, but
well, maybe I misunderstood what you were saying, because I thought you weren't looking forward necessarily to this one. But if you were looking forward to it, it certainly showed out there on the track, because you did take the fight to him all night. But what about that Wishon guy? I mean, he just seemed to have a little bit too much for you. Was there something else you could have done? What was he doing that was different that you could have taken?
just run a cleaner line. I was trying to really wing it in there at first, and he was pulling away, so I just tried to maybe drive it through the corner, not get it so sideways. But it just seemed like no matter what I did, he just lap by lap about a foot, 2 feet, farther ahead of me. So,
well,
yeah, I can't really.
it's one of those things you're going to go back and scratch your head and try and see if there's something else that you can do to get that extra little bit next time. But either way, long season ahead of you. Congratulations, Sean. Great second place. And I know you're looking forward to the rest of this.
Oh, yeah. I wish there was more dirt stuff now. But all right, guys. You guys have a good one. Thank you, guys.
You too. Thank you so much for joining us. That's Sean Briscoe taking second place here tonight at the Bristol Dirt Track. And I guess I did misunderstand. Last week he was looking forward to it. Certainly showed. So Sean Briscoe taking second, and that is only because of one Jared Wishon, who absolutely stole the show tonight. And Jared now joining us in NORA Truck Series post-race discussion, victory lane here. Jared, congratulations. A fantastic win on a night where we saw lots of drivers take their chance and try and take that top position. You've seen everybody from Josh Conover, Jason Conover, Sean Briscoe up there. Lots of drivers took their chance, but you, Jared, were able to hold it down together. It's certainly the last half of the race was all yours. Beautiful win here tonight. Congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. It definitely didn't come easy, though, because the start of the race was a little bit rough. I couldn't figure out the track when it was all tacky, and then when it slicked off, I kind of found my groove on the top side. I stepped over a few times and got into the fence, but we was able to hold him off there the final 50-some laps.
And you did an absolutely amazing job. I mean, not only did you hold him off, boy, we're looking here at the replay, it looks like Briscoe got into you a tiny bit as well. Your truck is anything but pristine. You've got scrapes and dings all over that truck. Talk us through your night. Was it a survivor kind of night for you? Were you fighting off anybody in particular that you felt like was your main challenger, or was the track really your biggest challenger tonight?
I thought Sean was going to have me there, but I think he stayed out and pitted on the second stage, and I pitted the caution before the stage, and that's where I was able to get in front of him. We have about a minute of damage because when I think Jaden spun or got wrecked or something, I had to hit the fence to not hit him. And we elected not to fix that, and we just got back out there and was able to get by Sean there at the stage, and that was pretty much it.
Well, it was an awesome night of utilizing a couple of different lines out there on the track. Tell us about that high line. As we heard Sean talking about, there was only about a foot of that cushion that was usable. What did you feel out there, and did you feel the low line start to come in at some point? Did that become a factor?
It was there maybe in the middle of the race whenever Sean went by me and Josh there, but I just can't run the bottom, so I kind of needed the top to come in like it did there at the end. But just whenever I was able to get out front, I felt like I'd be able to manage it, but on that restart there for the last restart, it kind of had me nervous. I was missing the entry, hitting the wall, but luckily we was able to put it together and pull away there.
You pulled away. It looked beautiful here on camera, and you never looked back. What do you think coming in here? Is this your first race here in the NORA Truck Series this season? What brought you in tonight, and are you going to stick around and do some more racing here?
Seeing that my other league that I run is off this week, and I love running the Bristol Dirt, so I messaged Cody and seeing if I could get a truck, and Josh was able to get me in, and I just got to thank Cody, Dustin, Tyson at KPR for letting me run this race in their truck and believing in me to come out here and run well for them.
Well, it looked beautiful out there. Congratulations on taking victory. I'm sure there's some out there that wish you didn't decide to join for a one-off race, but either way, congratulations. Anybody you'd like to give a shout-out to before we roll on with the broadcast?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Diecast fans for being on the truck tonight. KPR, once again, for letting me come out here and run this race. Cody, Tyson, and Dustin, and Josh for getting me into the league. And thank you guys for broadcasting it.
Absolutely. That's our pleasure. Well, fabulous job. Congratulations. We'll let you go off and celebrate with the rest of your team.
All right, thank you.
That is Jared Wishon, who takes victory here. First race in the series, and he pulls it off with great mastery. I'll tell you what, Christian, that was something else to behold. What a heck of a race tonight. What are your final thoughts tonight before we close it out?
Final thoughts tonight. I'm still shocked that there is not a full moon out, because the things we saw tonight were absolutely insane. But these guys were able to get a handle of it, maybe right there in the middle of the second stage, and put on a heck of a show all night. We saw a little bit of controversy, but that didn't carry over to the finish of the race, which is always great. And these guys in the NORA Truck Series have put on great shows for the past 4 years, I believe, and it's going to continue getting better. The more drivers that come in and put on a show like Wishon just did.
Well, we'll take a look here real quick at our upcoming schedule. There you can see it on your screen. Of course, next week it will be Martinsville Speedway, and then and that's a nice, short track if there ever was one. It's so short you can barely get up to any sort of speed on the straightaway, but then it will be a nice long break until we get to our next track at Kansas. Darlington coming up, North Wilkesboro, which should be a blast for these drivers to run at. Charlotte Motor Speedway, a great mix of tracks coming up, Christian. Hoping to see you back in the cockpit before too long as well. So good luck with that. We do hope we'll see you back here in the commentary booth as well, my friend.
Yeah, I'll be joining the race at Kansas to drive. For next week, Martinsville. I'll also be there for Darlington and North Wilkesboro, more than likely.
Well, that'll be terrific. We wish you luck in both circumstances. So that's going to do it for tonight. Of course, I'm Trevor Greenfield, and you've been watching VirtualRacing.Network, your exclusive home to the NORA Truck and Cup Series, and it's been an absolute great one to cover tonight. You saw Jared Wishon come out of nowhere and take victory over Sean Briscoe and Josh Conover. Congratulations to them. Join us tomorrow night for the same type of action. Going to be right here at Bristol Dirt. You won't want to miss it. It's the NORA Cup Series right here on VirtualRacing.Network. Smash that subscribe button, the like button, hit the notify button, and you'll get everything delivered right to your inbox. On behalf of Christian Snyder and everyone else here in the NORA Truck Series, I'm Trevor Greenfield signing off. Till tomorrow night. Bye-bye, everybody.